All right, ladies and germs, it's time for us to talk. We got to talk. I wasn't originally going to do a live, but I thought to myself, we have a very exciting day of boxing ahead of us. I want to get some predictions. I've said my piece on Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, my beloved Katie of Ireland, who I've followed since she went pro and made me such a big fan of this sport. I love her in victory. If something happens, I'll love her in defeat, though I don't think she's going to lose. She's one of the most excellent standout human beings I've ever seen. I can't interview her. She's too big. She's too. I fanboy all over everything. I can't do it. Love Katie Taylor. Love me, Katie, motherfucker Taylor. Mario Guzman, que lo que manín. Ya tú sabes la vaina. And yeah, man. I had to give myself a fresh cut. I'll be wearing a Skelly Boom Boom because I don't be wanting to comb my shit. JD Boxing in the building, country in the building, come in the building. Come, I'm gonna shoot a link and you better join this shit. I ain't fucking playing. I'll be seeing you in them motherfucking spaces. Why you being all quiet, son? Rofas Bocinto, que lo que, manín. Dani Fantasma. ¡Ay! Alex de la Bodega, él va para la pelea. ¡Ay, Dios mío! El pool check in the building. Come, stay joining them shits. I stay seeing her in them groups. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, man, I'm very excited for tomorrow's fight, though. Actually, I feel like this installment of the talks, I want it to be more about Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. I get the sense that, and you guys have heard me say this a lot, that I just feel like Shakur has everything to win this fight. And because he has everything to win this fight, Shakur is a pure boxer. So if he's in a situation where he's having it his way, that makes for an anticlimactic fight. And I wonder how many people out there give Oscar a chance to at least make this competitive, make it a fight, make it a fight where, at least Shakur has to work for it, because I don't really see a lot of people. I'm coming up short of people that actually feel like, look, at minimum, Oscar can make him work harder than he's ever had to work. I see a lot of people just picking Oscar by way of a fucking blowout. They just don't really give Oscar a shot. Swab in the building. You know what I mean? G-Funky in the building with the funky miss. Eh? You know what I mean? And yeah, man, we in this motherfucking shit, yo. Oscar seems like he don't want to fight. That's what I'm saying, country, that I'm not trying to attack him. I just know that it was their intention to face Emmanuel Navarrete. That was who they wanted. And because Emmanuel seems to be going through something with Zanford Promotions, that's really what took him out of the queue. That's what took him out of the running. If not for that, what we might be looking at right now would have been Valdez versus Navarrete, which probably would have done very good business, by the way. Darren Hodges says Shakur by unit. That's how I have the motherfucking shit. So I got the motherfucking shit. And if not for the promotional issues that Emmanuel Navarrete may be experiencing with Zanfer, we might have been looking at a different fight right now. And I will admit that the proposition of Navarrete versus Valdez, that would have been a fun fight. You kind of gotta give Oscar the edge because he's faced a naturally bigger pressure fighter than Berchelto. At the same time, they're not exactly carbon copies of each other, Emmanuel Navarrete and Berchelt. They're both pressure fighters in the sense that they come forward, volume punchers that work off activity and overwhelm the other guy. That's what they both do, though they do go about it in different ways. Berchelt was an orthodox fighter. Navarrete is a southpaw, and they have different punch selection. That shovel uppercut from Emmanuel Navarrete is a fucking thing of beauty. He shoots it from well up on the outside of the guy, lands the punch. The thing is, that's at 122. That's at 126. If they brought you up to 130, would you stay in character? We know that Oscar Valdez in the past has been a fighter that gets drawn out into wars. He got his jaw broke in the Scott Quigg fight. He got put on his back pocket, sat on it by Adam Lopez, and he was still working his way into that Eddie Reynoso balanced kind of style, to where you're not just coming forward and winging shots. You're actually using your jab and using some movement, using some defense, maybe setting up shots by walking the guy in the punches. That was something that he did not have altogether in the beginning, but it looked like, he getting there. Bidi bidi bum bum, we got a troll. Bidi bidi bum bum, vete pa'l diablo. Bidi bidi bum bum, mama huevo. Bidi bidi bang bang, Selena got a big fucking culo. Esa tipa tenía un culo. Esa tipa tenía un culo. Esa tipa tenía. Oh, y'all don't know what I'm saying. Esa tipa tenía un culo. Esa tipa tenía un. You know what I love about merengue? Anything could be a merengue. Literally anything. El café con leche. El café con leche. El café con leche. El café con leche. Esta niña, café con el anything could be a fucking merengue. Esa maldita teta, anything could be a fucking merengue, and that's why I love merengue. It's in my fucking blood, son. Ya tú sabes, no es falta de respeto, manín. Esa mujer fue una ángel. Biri biri bang bang, esa fucking narga. Biri 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 narga. Bidi 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 narga. That's fucking crazy. Bro, I grew up in a Selena era. Why would I violate? Esa mujer fue una fucking diosa, manín, con ese vestido, ese mulo, esa nalga, ese pelo, Dios mío. A mí no me gusta bachata. Tuki 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 tu. Tuki 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 tu. Tuki tuki. A mí no me gusta esa vaina. No me gusta. Spence being overrated by the trainers, media, rappers, Charlos. Well, look, man. Look, I'm gonna try to be more. I'm not gonna try to say the same things. What I will say is at least we have an American welterweight. We have two American welterweights that make up what could be the biggest fight in the division. Something for us to look forward to. Things as of late have looked more encouraging than they have in previous years. I don't really think there's any other fight out there for Errol that makes sense. It's almost like the stars aligned to remove some of the things that might have been in the way. Like, look, you've been focused on fighting an old fucking Pacquiao, and you ended up pulling out of that. You prioritized fighting an old ass man in Manny Pacquiao. That you would have preferred that to the Crawford fight, and the universe took that shit from you. Like, no, you can't fucking have that. Gave it to Ugas because he don't have eyebrows. His girl got a fat old ass though, so I mean, he ain't like he doing bad. He just made a couple M's. His girl got a fat old ass. Her friends got fat old asses, so you could cheat on her with them. It's good shit out here. From the United Kingdom, more Charlo fighting a bum again. Sad, man, sad. Yeah, I dig it. Look, I said it before and I'll say it again. The Suletsky fight would not bother me if it were part of a more comprehensive schedule of fights. Like if you said he has 3 fights and one of them is against the Suletsky, I'll say I could deal with that because Suletsky's actually not bad. He's never been stopped. He's got a little bit of speed in those hands. He's got a quick 1-2, but in terms of variety, not much variety. But it's not it wouldn't be as terrible if you didn't turn your nose up at Charlo. I mean, at Andre. What makes it terrible is you literally shit talk Andre just to end up fighting somebody that he beat 3 years ago. So now you look like Boo Boo the Fool. Like, bro, how you going to say that you too good for him, but you not too good for people that he beat? That doesn't make sense. Shakur by UD, but can't sleep on Valdez, though. Ay! You know what I'm saying? Pray for my people, everyone. I'm praying for your people, dog. Just to go against the people. You know what I'm saying? And we in this motherfucking shit, yo. Yes, sir. Home and chilling. Ay. And yeah, man, you know, it's an exciting weekend of fights. But like I said, I see a lot of people, they really just feel like, and I feel that way myself. The main thing for me is the jab, the usage of the jab, and how responsible Shakur Stevenson is with it. That even though he's a young fighter, he's not a slave to the moment. He's not a guy who I've ever really seen drawn out into a war. He's quick enough that he can literally control a guy with just that jab. He can win just off the jab, and that's kind of what we saw in the Nicotila fight. So I'm like, if he has that kind of maturity now at this age, I can only imagine what his ceiling will be as he gets older, gets more confident, and has more variety in his punches than just the straight ones. Because Shakur's bread and butter really are straight punches. I don't see him as a guy that throws a whole lot of uppercuts or hooks or body shots. his bread and butter does seem to be his straight punches from the outside, holding his ground, or stepping into his straight punches. But his straight punches seem to be his best punches. Beady 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 narga. Beady 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 narga. And yeah, yo, that's the motherfucking shit, man. We got a great weekend of fights. I gotta say, Aline Cedar Ruse, Franchon Cruz, excellent fucking fight. To me, that's a 50-50 fight. I went with Franchon on activity, though there is a chance I could be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong because that's the fun of it, is finding out, is watching and finding out. You know what I mean? That's the fun of the fucking shit. And I'm looking forward to that. Sky Nicholson, she's going to be going for 3-0 tomorrow. I didn't get to research her opponent. Unfortunately, I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to see what this girl brings to the table to know what we can expect and just how to evaluate that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to review any footage on that girl. I don't think I was able. I remember looking for footage on the girl that she was fighting, and I remember I couldn't find any. And I think that's why, like maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I just couldn't find anything. It was something like that. And I'm like, look, man, I don't think they're going to put her in with a shot just yet anyway. Not at 2-0, not at 2-0. So, yeah, man. And there's that shit. Wonder why Maul fighting Sulietsky instead of Adames. Thank you. Thank you, Deadly Punches. Because you raised the point that what's the point in being on a PBC side of things and fighting in WBC eliminators so that Sulietsky could get a title shot? Remember, the WBC ordered a fight between Carlos Adames and Jaime Munguia. Golden Boy pulled Jaime out of that shit. But what the fuck happened to Carlos? Carlos Adames versus Maciej Sulietsky would, like Carlos Adames versus Charlo would have been at least a more respectable fight with more of a precedence. But you see the games, they're like, yo, dog, y'all got a guy at 60 that's trying to get that green belt. Y'all have a guy. And instead of that guy, y'all get y'all get Sulietsky. What are you doing? D-Style says, what's goody, son? Ya tu sabes, manín. Tyson Fury ain't no all-time great, B. Ya tu sabes, ya tu sabes, ya tu sabes, ya tu sabes. El Alessi. Puerto Rico. Mira, manín, a ti lo que te gusta de Amanda es que ella se pone Jays, que cuando ella pelea. Eso es lo que te gusta a ti de esa tipa, que ella se pone los Jordans para pelear. Eso no se trata nada del boxeo. Wish Shushu was on it. Yeah, Shushu. Bruce Carrington is that dude. I want to get a couple of guys. On here, but not like 10. There's too many guys be trying to talk at the same time. Yeah, man, you selling yourself a dream about Amanda, bro. It is what it is. Vamos a ver. Que yo lo que veo es que el trainer de ella, el entrenador, el cuñado, se enfojonó with a naturally smaller fighter just because she was using lateral movement. ¿Qué clase, qué vaina más mediocre es esa? Because the girl used a little bit of lateral movement. ¿Y qué tú quieres, manny? You want her to sit down in the middle of the ring? Don't move. Amanda trying to hit you. ¿Qué vaina más mediocre es esa?
¿Cómo estábamos, Julius?
Aquí en lo mismo. We're not going to have 10 guys. If you want a link, you know what I mean? We're not going to have 10 guys up here. Sometimes it's too many guys up here getting complaints.
¿Qué lo que?
Okay.
But yeah, yo, we got the fight tomorrow. And, I wanted to talk about Valdez and Stevenson a little more because it's like everybody's picking Shakur by way of a fucking blowout. Leo,
Yeah.
how do you see that fight?
Look, I think Oscar is there for a shadow. I mean, it's gonna be dismantled there if he doesn't have an answer for the clinch, because Shakur goes for a Philly shell most of the time.
Yeah.
A good friend of the Philly shell is the clinch.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into your chest or under your belt line and goes for the clinch if things go too crazy, right? If Oscar cannot time out and put something there, something to the head, an uppercut, a left hook, Oscar is not gonna be able to do anything in that fight.
That's kind of how I feel. I just who Mike is doing all that. That's kind of how I feel. Like that, I'm like I don't wanna down talk the fight. You feel me? But it's just if I'm right, and this is Shakur's fight to win. Shakur is not an action guy. So if he wins in the way that I think he's going to win, we're looking at an anticlimactic situation. The most I hope he can do is become that, because all of a sudden he él es boricua ahora. Está bien que sea boricua, huepa, toda la vaina, pastelito, toda la vaina, el coquí, toda la vaina. Fine. But be exciting. Sell it. Sell the ass whooping. Do it. Alexis, can he sell the ass whooping?
Yes, he can.
How do you see that fight?
Well, okay, so I'll tell you what each has to do to win, right? Well, I'll tell you what Oscar Valdez has to do to win, right? If he comes forward, if Oscar Valdez fights the fight that he was known, he reverts to pre-Eddie Reynoso times, right? If he gets into that, he's gonna get knocked out by Shakur Stevenson.
I agree.
Okay.
Shakur, like I said, I've said this over and over again. Shakur is not a weak puncher. He's not. What it is that he's defensively disciplined, and he stays within himself. But if you try to come after him, he's gonna knock you out, which is what happened to what's his name, Herring. I knew Herring was gonna get knocked out. Remember I told you that before.
Yeah.
Because Herring was gonna get in the ring and have something to prove. What I think needs to happen for Oscar Valdez to win is that he has to devise a plan in which Shakur Stevenson feels, and I'm saying this is not probably not going to happen, but feels compelled to put on a show and then comes forward, right? So Oscar Valdez entices Shakur to make the action. Oscar Valdez can box. He can. But he
Well, no, hey, so this is the thing, right? Look, this is the thing. He can, so long as the other guy leads. You know what I mean? Because with Burchell, he did box. He did. He used his jab. He moved. And he walked him into shots. But that's if the other guy leads.
Exactly. But other than that, Shakur has so many ways of winning, and the thing that spells doom for Valdez is that performance versus Robinson Conceição. Because if Conceição, that's a weak puncher. Conceição hit him with shots that should have or that would have gotten Oscar Valdez out of there if Conceição had any punching power. So he can't get hit with the shots that he got hit by Conceição by Shakur. But by the same token, Valdez could wait on Shakur and entice him into one of those left hooks, and then we'll see what Shakur's chin is made of.
Right, I'm
picking Shakur to win. I'm thinking that the fight is going to be exciting.
Well, that's more or less the question that I was going to pose to the rest of the guys in the panel. Are you anticipating an anticlimactic fight where it's one-sided and it's just Shakur's winning off the jab, or are there gonna be ebbs and flows and things like that?
If there's gonna be that, because Oscar Valdez, he's gonna come. If he gets hit enough, he's gonna get into those moments where he's gonna feel pressure to put on to win, and then he's gonna make the fight, and it's gonna become a firefight, and it's not a firefight per se in that toma y dame, because Shakur is not gonna get hit like that. But it's gonna be an exciting match.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Country. Country, what kind of fight are you expecting between Shakur and Oscar?
Okay, let's see. I got Shakur winning on points decision. But I think the early rounds 1 through 3 may end up being a bit competitive. I think as it starts to go on, Oscar's going to realize he's outclassed, and I think Shakur is going to start taking over by the 4th round. And once it starts going into later rounds, it's just progressively going to get worse for Oscar.
Mm.
You know, he will put up forth an effort to try to make it competitive, but in the end, it's just gonna defeat him, and I think he's gonna just get out. He either gets outpointed, or alluding to what Alexis was saying, if he tries to go too far and making a show and makes a mistake, he could get knocked out by trying to put that out there too much. But I
Mm.
just don't see him. I don't see him winning. Plus, also too, his demeanor and
He
the
looks
way he
defeated.
looked. Yeah, already before he's in the ring, he already looks like he lost. So I just don't see him winning the fight. And I mean, it'll be a little bit, but once Shakur takes over, it's a done deal.
So
I'm not gonna say it's a total blowout, but
let me go to Sawab. Sawab, for all accounts, you look at Oscar's demeanor the whole fucking week, dog, and he looks defeated. Why did he take this fight?
Bro, he got pushed in there. He had no other choice. From what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, I don't think he had any other option but to take this fight. They just feeding him to Shakur. But my take on this fight, I don't see it that lopsided towards Shakur the way everyone's saying. Personally, that's the way I think. I think it's going to be a very close fight. His guys say 60-40 to Shakur, and I think it's going to be by decision. It's going to be a good 12 rounds fight. Maybe one, two knockdowns. I think Shakur might, just get switch off. He might switch off for a second or two, and then Oscar could take advantage of that. So that's the way I see the fight going. But I got Shakur winning by unanimous decision.
I'm gonna go back to Alexis. If Shakur wins this fight the way that we all think he's gonna win this fight, he becomes the Tito Rojas of 130 pounds. What does he do after that?
Well, he's going to try to unify. But permit me for 1 second. Going back as to why Oscar took this fight, the answer lies with Navarrete. Navarrete having the trouble that he's having with his promoter, and that getting sorted out was put a damper on their matchup. It would have been Navarrete against him if Navarrete's situation would have been straight. That's what I think.
Agreed.
They would have announced that. A long time ago, and then we would have been excited about that because that's a good fight too.
Well, look. There's something. Because before it even became about Shakur, Jamel Herring was pursuing the fight with Oscar, and you could see that Oscar didn't want the fight. While Jamel was talking about unifying titles with you, and regardless of how anyone would have edged the fight, that maybe you tell yourself, "Oh, I would have had Oscar win it." Regardless of that, Jamel wanted to fight. Oscar wanted to fight a featherweight. Because that's what the talk was. You want to fight Navarrete, where there's a 130-pound champion right here that wants to fight you. He only ended up fighting Shakur because he couldn't get the unification match with you. So there's something about a southpaw, and there's something about a southpaw that's a jabber that Oscar just doesn't want to know. And that kind of, it's a great fight. Don't get me wrong. It's two unbeaten, two division champions. But Oscar's demeanor is just like a wet fart. Like, bro, like, it's just like you look defeated.
But you know what? He's not exactly a hoorah guy. You know what I mean? He's not.
That's true.
He's not. If you can show me video of him acting like completely different than he's acting now, then I would say that. But he's not. He's not that type of boisterous braggadocio. I like the way he acted in the weigh-in.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that he grabbed Shakur's belt after Shakur grabbed his. I don't know if you saw that little piece. Shakur is a little disrespectful guy.
He is but it's so play. Look, I have a question. A country, is it me or does Oscar have an unusually deep voice for such a small man?
Yeah, he does have kind of a deep voice. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is like, bro? Like, these guys is 125, 130 pounds.
Julius, that's the Mexican. Where is he from? That's the Mexican balls.
Not every Mexican has a deep voice like
Julius,
that.
That's the
maybe you are
beef. The beef.
too used
Bro,
to
Canelo eat beef and he bigger than Oscar. He sound like this. Yo soy el Canelo, chingones. He don't talk like us. Oscar voice is mad fucking deep. Like, he's like the Adam Smith of Mexico. Like, yo, your voice does not match your body, bro. Like, why is your voice so deep?
Yeah, yeah. But guess what? Yes, you know who else tried to avoid it? This Jamel Herring was Burchell, right?
Oh yeah, he did it first.
Yeah, he did it first. So
He didn't
something
wanna
about
know.
those boxing skills they don't want to see.
Well, I mean, they wanted a war, and they figure also because of the business. Because let's also be real: if the plan would have stuck, and it would have been Navarrete versus Valdez, that fight does good business, and that's just being real. Like, yeah, that fight does good business, man. Like, you know, it wouldn't be the best versus the best though, which is what this really is. These are the two best guys at 130 pounds. I would pick either one of them to beat either Roger Gutierrez or Kenichi Ogawa. I would pick Oscar to beat the both of them. I would pick Shakur to beat the both of them. So it is the best versus the best. But you do kind of get the sense that like Oscar's going into this like the lamb to the slaughter almost. Like he knows the odds are against him.
Yeah, this
social
whole
pariah.
promotion is slanted.
Yeah.
Like they're just feeding him. It's weird like that, man.
But
Right.
you know what saves him? They'll fuck with him after the fight. They'll fuck with him. They'll fuck with him. They'll fuck with him.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a loss, bro? This is boxing. What the fuck is a loss? Like, they'll fuck with him. If you tell them tomorrow, Oscar Valdez versus fucking Kenichi Ogawa, they'll fuck with it, bro. They will fuck with it. So,
Julius, they don't have any other option. Say if Shakur gets beat, what other options do Top Rank have? They have to do it.
well, yeah.
So he just dethroning the golden boy of Top Rank.
I will
No,
say,
they beat on 130.
there was an uproar over Shakur's newfound love of his heritage, his Boricua heritage, which turned an otherwise simple situation into identity and race politics. Well, not even race, because it's not a race. Identity and ethnicity. And I'm like, yo, I wanted to say this because I honestly believe, yo, the people that do this, they have a very distinct identity crisis. Like, you're so focused on saying something about what everyone else is. That boy is Puerto Rican. You mad that he's identifying with something that he is? What the fuck do you want? He's Puerto Rican. Like I don't understand. Like, how could that bother somebody? Like, yo, that kid's Puerto Rican though. Like, he is Puerto Rican. Like,
the only thing he's trying to get attract the LDBC or whatever these other clowns and to maybe have them behind him somehow. Maybe he's seeing how they treat Errol Spence and how they treat Wilder, and I hope
because they view him identifying with his Caribbean roots as a betrayal. Is what I'm saying. They view it as a betrayal. Like, how is it a betrayal for this guy who is Puerto Rican to identify? Like, how is that a betrayal? Even if it is a marketing ploy, I tell you what, he's more Puerto Rican than Danny Garcia.
But Julius, don't you think it's a little bit sus by the timing? How much time Oscar Valdez has been talking about this?
Okay, let me say this, Leo. Most people don't know that I'm half Chilean, right? Pero vamos a decir que el pound for pound número uno mañana es de Chile, de Santiago or something, right? Oh, I'm fucking Chilean all day, baby. Like, yeah, my fucking God, bro. Chile, all the shit, yo. Tierra del Fuego, toda la vaina. If that's the case. So I acknowledge that it's a marketing strategy. Like, yeah, of course it is. But it's still, he is Puerto Rican, though. If he wants to use his, How is him using his Puerto Ricanness, his weaponness, any different from what Ebony Bridges does with her beautiful legs and all her beautiful stuff? How is that
Okay,
different?
Julius, but let me
Well,
ask you this because I don't know. Uh, does Mexicans and Boricuas have some kind of beef?
Yeah, they
They're
do.
not, they do, and I mean, like it's an East Coast West Coast thing in some ways. Yes, they do. It exists. It's played up more in boxing than anything else. It is played up
Right.
more.
Another rivalry too is like Mexico and El Salvador. You know,
Argentina also. Argentina
yeah,
also.
there are certain groups that Mexico just other Latino groups that Mexico has rivalries with, or they just don't like each other.
Yeah, but
Mexico and El Salvador is really big on that one. They just don't like each other.
yeah, because
Also, Ecuadorians for some reason hate Mexicans. I don't really understand it, but I've heard that the Ecuadorians and Mexicans they
you
got
know
like a
what?
beef.
okay,
A friend of mine who was from like Central America told me a big reason for that is when they're coming through Mexico to get up to the United States, like they get really messed with hard by the Mexican federales and everything, and they're like treated really bad, and all kinds of like bad stuff happens. So that compiled with other rivalries, you know, it really just kind of builds, and then they end up hating each other.
I dig it. Let me read these super chats. Jules' thoughts on Shakur playing the race card? Oh, we're getting into that now. Shakur said, all right, testing dirty, they wouldn't be allowed to fight like Oscar was. It was comedy to ignore the past dirty fighters and Showtime. Who's? Showtime letting guys fight after domestic abuse. Let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna make this simple because I don't want to be a channel that relies on vitriol associated with that stuff in order to drum up views. But here's reality. My guy, you smacked a girl on camera. I don't give a shit if you was reaching for another dude. You smacked a girl on
that's
camera.
wild.
All right? It's on tape. And you are getting preferential treatment because they could fucking hang you out to dry with that shit and you won't have no fans. Most men don't respect a guy that hit girls, fam. The girls ain't gonna really like that about you, but the guys gonna like it even less because that's just some bitch assness. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, Jules, Chris was asking to be let in. I don't know if you're gonna.
Hold on, we got like 5 people already on the panel, man. I told you I ain't gonna have 10 people on the panel.
Okay.
Um,
Letting you know.
Yeah, like as a dude, like it's too much shit that gets forgiven on the premise that the fighter is young. Yo, at the end of the day, at some point, I'm gonna tell you your mommy and your daddy ain't shit based on what you doing. At some point, it's gonna be your mommy and your daddy ain't shit. You got money. Why you bugging out? Why you acting like a kid that ain't got money when you a world championship level boxer? When you did that, you had a major contract with a promotional outfit, did you not? You getting 5 and 6 figure paydays. How many men your age are getting that? And you still out here wilding because you think that's some hot fly shit. That's why you doing that. The same reason all young guys do dumb shit. Now I can't speak for everybody on this panel. I really can't. But I could say when I was that age, nah, I wasn't dumb like that. I did dumb shit. I did bad shit, I should say. But not the corny shit. Like you a cornball. You are a cornball. You not a street guy. You might be around street guys, but you a championship boxer, bro. You getting 5 and the shit that motherfuckers got to stand on a corner and flip pack or whatever. You got money already, so you a poser doing all that extra shit. It's not about nothing. You got money, right? So how the fuck you that? The shit that you emulating is the shit that people don't have do. You have. Cut it out. That's all I'm saying.
It's not and it's not just about the money. It's about your bringing because like Mike Tyson, everyone know everyone knew in some point what kind of person was Mike Tyson and what kind of childhood he had. The origins of Mike Tyson. They were rough, very rough. He didn't have a father. His mother was a drug addict. A bunch of shit. Institutionalized. If you don't come from there, don't expect sympathy from anyone. Really. If you have your mom, you have something to clinch. don't expect any sympathy for that kind of behavior.
I'll say this. I saw a video on Twitter, not but a few hours ago, of a father who kicked out a group of kids from a bathroom, a women's bathroom, because his wife and his daughter were in there, right? It's about 5 and 6 of these little kids, right? And I'm like, look, in a situation like that, and I don't care who don't like it, it's perfectly okay for me to pull out the hammer and blow one of y'all head off. I don't know what the fuck y'all want to do. It's 5 of y'all. Only take one of y'all to have a knife and stab the shit out of me while I'm with my wife and my daughter. And this is the type of corny ass shit you at the mall. So when certain shit happens, you really got to ask yourself, look, what we don't want is for situations to get there at the end. You don't want that kids is getting murked. You don't want that. But in a situation like that, that man is with his child. What's the matter with y'all? What's the matter with y'all? So if something happened to y'all, will we supposed to sit around sad that you brought it on yourself? That's why I say you gotta, at some point, your mommy and your daddy ain't shit. At some point, it's them. You ain't like that by yourself. You like that because your mommy and your daddy ain't shit. That's why you like that. And somebody got to be held accountable for that shit. Because that's nuts. What the fuck are y'all doing running in the women's bathroom while that man, daughter, and his wife was in there?
Yeah.
What's the matter with y'all? And it's supposed to be, all this shit is supposed to be all right. Oh, because no, it's not supposed to be all right. It's matter, it's like 5, 6 of y'all to one man. So when I see
Julius,
that,
I'm
yes.
sorry. I'm sorry when people say I got a tough take on this. I know some people maybe think in my culture it's not like that. Thank God my mom and dad are together, and even though my dad has 2 wives, it still is calm, married to both, whatever. But I'm just saying, I don't think is that people can use not having a mom and a dad as an excuse to do fucked up shit.
Right.
You're a grown man. You can't use that as an excuse. You can't do, I didn't have a mom and a dad, so I had to do whatever. I had to go stab up people.
Let me explain something. Mike Tyson got involved in some kind of fist fight. He beat the shit out of someone in a play. Okay?
Right.
What was the reaction from everyone? This guy is an idiot. You have to leave Mike Tyson alone because this guy is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson might be better now, but this guy is dangerous. Leave that guy alone.
Mm-hmm.
If that same guy was, let's say, Anthony Joshua, will we condone that kind of behavior from Anthony Joshua? No.
That's a very valid question. That's a very
Right.
valid.
No, because we know Anthony Joshua, and we know the kind of upbringing. We know how he behaves in the regular. So if you beat the shit out of one anywhere, we want to know what are you doing? Were you drunk? Were you high? What happened to you?
I see what you're getting at. To Sawab's point, right? I'm one of the kids in the 80s that didn't know my father. So when he says that there's no excuse, I agree. There's no excuse. I ain't going to say I never did nothing bad, just not the same bad things that these dickheads do. Because, see, what I see is a lot of kids is in a hurry to be a dickhead for the sake of being a dickhead. Like, you want to sell to sell. You not poor. Your mommy got a job and your daddy got a job. What are you doing? It's simple, stupid shit. So I'm like, when I see that video of the father with the daughter, I'm like, see, and if that man turn around and he got an open carry joint and he say, y'all blow one of y'all little motherfuckers head off if you don't back the fuck up off me, it's 5 of y'all. Do you want to die? Right? Because the behavior is excused until somebody die. And it's a tragedy. It's a Greek. No, it's not a Greek tragedy. It's absentee parents. Raise your fucking children, or you won't get the chance to.
Right. Either somebody else will do it, or they'll get taken out before you could.
It's like, yo, at some point accountability has to come into it. They're like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? God, they had them all running. Where's your mother and father? Why aren't you studying for a test? It's just some little kid shit that you're supposed to be doing as a little fucking kid. You know what I mean? It's a lot of little shit like that. So when I see that Shakur, this is a kid who you got a contract that gets you about 5 and 6 figures at a time. Major promotional outfit. You're actually on television and you involved in this hooligan ass shit. It's like, see, that's senseless. You doing that just to be doing that, in other words. Because you don't need to be doing that. Bro, you could be in fucking Baja, riding waves with nice Mexican joints that got big asses. Nah, you at the gas station shooting it like, well, you like, really? Why is this so attractive to people? Like, I don't understand why this gutter bullshit. There's nothing appealing about that shit if you actually lived through that and got away. There's nothing appealing about that shit.
Right.
Julius,
Talking about that stuff
you'd be
he did a long
surprised.
time ago, though.
You'd be surprised, Julius.
No, I did. Look, it wasn't long enough for me, Alexis. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't long enough for me.
Julius, what I'm saying is that you'd be surprised that here in England, there are posh motherfuckers who lives in millions, like a house worth millions, 5, 6 millions. But their children, they will come out wearing hood rich and acting like gangsters that they see, or the music videos that they watch, acting tough like that with their hands down your trousers. Bro, you're not from that era. You're not from those streets. You're a typical, you know what I mean, posh guy. Act like that. Wear your nice suit and tie and go to school and behave yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that he gets like a team or someone that advises him, like, yo, don't be that guy, bro. Just don't be that guy. Don't try to fit into a mold because of social norms. Think for yourself. Do for yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's why I like Devin. Or at least I like this about him. He cooling, bro. He got a joint. She got a fat old ass, and what he doing? He's rubbing her fat old ass like he supposed to. I ain't supposed to be out here doing all this freak shit. I'm gonna bust these nuts. I'm gonna rub her ass. I'm gonna go to Australia. I'm gonna try to win these belts. But I ain't gotta be act like a lot of shit is played to me. In other words, that's what it is for me. A lot of shit is just played. That cause I'm wild, cause I'm young, I get to be a dickhead. No, you don't. Cause somebody these days, a motherfucker blow your head off.
Hey,
Real
Jules, a lot of these youngsters are in love with that, trying to carry around or build up that rep, man. They're in love with that, and that's why they do it. You know?
Yeah, but no, I mean, I agree, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just it's played, and I don't know. I guess for a second, I kind of felt like as a society, we had outgrown this thing of glorifying being a degenerate. Like I thought we
should have, but unfortunately, some of the younger generation is just falling hook, line, and sinker to it still.
Yeah, because it's kind of like where I live now. Like where I live now, right? It's baby soft. Like nothing. It's baby soft out here, right? But you still see the kids that come from the 2-income households. Like, I couldn't have been out here when I was young. I'd have took all y'all lunch. I'd have robbed all y'all every week. That'd have been like a job. Like, man, I'd have been robbing the shit out you, little motherfucker. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. And I just hope that better examples are set in the future of like, yo, dog, like the government has gotten to the point where marijuana is a cash crop now, right? So that is a game changer to where the streets ain't exactly the same as they used to be, and a lot of it is just like you just doing that to be doing that. It's better ways of getting money than that. So if you doing that, you already look kind of funny to me. Like, bro, just do something else, bro. There's so many ways to get money now that we didn't have when I was young. Be a TikToker, shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, to Alexis's point, the past is the past. Shakur brought up the whole thing about, that, if he was, if Oscar was a certain thing, he would not have been allowed to fight. But I already did a video on that. That's kind of like, listen, bro, Graziano Rocigliani, they literally took this man's belt and gave it back to Roy. So let's not do the preferential treatment conversation, because if anybody got preferential treatment in that situation, it was Roy. Let's cut the cat. Let's cut the cat, cut the crap. Stop that shit. Just stop that shit. You know what I mean? But not too much to add in reference to just what I'm expecting out of the fight, to be completely honest with you guys. I think we all feel the same way.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty much unanimous.
But what do you guys think about Liam Smith versus Jesse Vargas?
geez. Oh,
I don't, Julius. I don't think Liam Smith stops Jesse Vargas.
All right, well, tell me why, goddammit.
I, I think Jesse Vargas is durable enough, and he gets some respect from his opponents. He doesn't have the best punching power, but he has a decent jab.
Got hurt by
So
Mikey Garcia.
yeah, but
Jesse
Mikey
Vargas is
Garcia
so
didn't finish him
annoying.
off.
He didn't. But it's more like, yo, if Mikey, who didn't really establish anything at 147, he hurt you with a shot, and I'm like, look, can we at least say that Liam Smith punches as hard as Mikey Garcia? Can we say that? I think we can say that.
Yeah. But has been a time that Liam Smith hurts a guy and he didn't finish him off.
I mean, he finished off Anthony Fowler in the last fight, bro. He finished that motherfucker. He finished him.
Hey, Jules,
Yeah.
I
Is that
thought
a
Beefy Smith
main
retired.
event, a main event fight in your opinion?
Say it again, Alexis.
Do you think, right, that Liam Smith versus Jesse Vargas is a main event level fight in your opinion?
Honest to God, listen. Honest to God, in terms of an aesthetic, I believe it could turn out to be entertaining. But the bar is lower, Alexis, and you know that. Look at what the chief support to versus Romero is. Lara versus Spike O'Sullivan.
Look at the
No, I
undercard of
understand that, but
Tyson
I'm
Fury
saying-
versus White.
Low versus Ball.
Hey, Jules,
Yo.
I thought Beefy Smith retired, or am I thinking of somebody
No.
else?
He didn't. He fought 2 times last year. He went to Russia for Kurbanov and he got robbed. And then he fought Anthony Fowler in, I think it was October or November in Liverpool. But he didn't retire.
Somebody that looks similar to him or retired. Who was that?
He got a brother named Paul Smith that retired.
Julius, can I say something to Alexis? Alexis, so you're telling me Beefy Smith versus, I'm so bad with name, this guy that he's fighting, you're telling me he wouldn't sell out in Liverpool? He wouldn't sell out arena?
Vargas. Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, Jesse Vargas, I think, is out of place in that car.
They sold out Liverpool with fucking Anthony Fowler, bro. Not sell out with fucking Jesse Vargas.
It's a main event fight. It is for the UK fans.
I'll tell you
Maybe
what,
not
Alexis. I'll tell you what, Alexis. Given the chief supports that I've been seeing for the last 2 to 3 years, Frankie Sanchez versus Efe Ajagba, a fight that on paper looks like a mouth-watering fight that plays out like watching grass grow. Yeah. I'll take Jesse Vargas versus Liam Smith. I'll take it. Because I know Jesse can be drawn out into a war because he got drawn out into a war with fucking Broner. He got drawn out into a war with Mikey. So I know that if Beefy hits the gas, he can force him to fight, and we get an entertainer, chief support that actually gives us some action. Because this is the bread.
Jesse Vargas had an entertaining fight against what's his name, Timothy Bradley.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah. So okay, all right.
I'll take it. Like I said, like when motherfuckers got the audacity to give you Isaac Cruz versus Gamboa as a chief support, how the fuck I'm gonna turn my nose up at this shit? Like how?
If we want to be fair, if we are going to be fair, this is a match at the level of Victor Ortiz versus Guerrero.
No, it's actually a little better.
True.
It's actually a little better because Ortiz was una mierda. Y Guerrero, ese tipo está acabado. Yeah, he's just finished. And Liam has momentum. You know, he's been looking all right fight by fight. So I would say it's a little better than that. Because if Liam wins, I think what they'll do is move him up the middleweight and have him fight Felix Cash. And I could go for that. I could go for that.
Cash hurts him. Cash is too big. But I didn't. Hear me out here. Felix Cash, in my opinion, is way too big for Beefy. But he did have a tough fight with that Russian dude, and I think that Russian dude did beat him. But at the end of the day, Felix Cash was coming off of a layoff. But
Felix,
I think now Felix, if they put him in with Felix Cash is put in with Liam Smith, I think Liam Smith would get beat up. And hey, can I?
Hold on, he probably get beat up, but that's what I want to see. I want to see him get beat up. I want to see him beat up Cash.
Okay, hey, Jules, let me interject to what you were saying about Shakur. I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you're saying, but I do understand this. That is a one-time incident, and I haven't seen Shakur act out that way again. But like that image is always going to leave an indelible mark on real dudes, and it was corny for what he did, and that like a lot of that stuff is corny. But to be quite honest with you, I haven't seen Shakur in the news for something of that sort again. So.
Let me say this. All right. Well, let me just say this. You know what else you haven't seen? You haven't seen me talk about that before because I never have. The only reason I brought it up is because the video was circulating very recently and because of what Oscar told him. You know, because he told Oscar to pad shit, and then Oscar came back with
yeah. He came back with that. Yeah, I remember.
That's because when the shit happened, you could look, bro. I didn't say shit like, man, I chalked it up to young cornball shit, because that's what it looked like.
Me too. I remember watching that video and I said, like, yeah, that's some corny, like that's not thorough man shit at all. But hey,
are we forgetting? 1 second, Chris. Are we forgetting that Tank Davis did the same shit? I think he pulled out some chick from
his baby mom's.
He did that same shit as well.
Look, let me put it. Let me say this. Let me say this. Right, I'm gonna say this about Sonny Edwards. Right, everybody don't say nothing. You got my man Sonny Edwards, right? And he really running around with a real for real, murder you and your family gangster. Do we see Sonny smacking broads, being in nah? But he really is like elbow to elbow, rubbing elbows with a real for real cartel king, murder you and your family. If you read the stories about the Kinahan cartel, they threw a stone somebody's house. This just to let you know. They threw a stone in the bedroom of somebody's child. They didn't kill the child. But what the stone said was, this is just to let you know we can get to you, right? This is kind of people that Sonny rubbing elbows. It's wild out here, B. And I'm saying that for all the shit that Sonny get, right? You know what you don't see? The cornball shit. Y'all
him acting out of term.
Yeah, like he look. Oh, if you see this cat. All he talking about is some pussy, some asses, some boxing. Like, let's cut the shit. Because that's what it's all about anyway. If you doing all this shit for paper, right, because you're such a fucking gangster, man, it's for a good life. Get pussy, rub some soft ass skin. Skin on the ass is real soft because they putting shea butter on the ass, cheeks. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So in other words, what I'm saying is you got people that's for real, running around with gangsters, and they ain't not doing the corny ass shit you doing. So what you supposed to be?
I always agree with you on that, Jules. But hey, my thoughts on Shakur versus Valdez. I think Shakur is gonna win, based style, like everything that we've been talking about. But hey, what if Al Valdez lands on Shakur one of his big left hooks and hurts Shakur? What happens?
I'm with it. I want to see Shakur get an acid test. Why not? But realistically, when you look at how Shakur shoots his jab, he's not fucking there, bro. He ain't there for you to do that. Exactly. He's mad responsible.
Yeah, super.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying. I got Shakur probably stopping him late. But now to what you were saying about Liam Smith and Jesse Vargas. Liam Smith stops him. If Mikey Garcia can hurt you, and Liam Smith can stop that big ass 154-pound dude who should be at 160 in Anthony Fowler. What makes you think? What makes you think a guy that got hurt by a blown up featherweight and never really had the biggest punching power at 47 or 54 would really just do anything to a guy that's very solid, and he's fought the better competition, and he's always given people outside of Canelo
let's
tough
say
fights.
Let's say this, right? for what it's worth, Jesse only lost to real motherfuckers. He lost to Manny. He lost to Tim. And, you know, he lost that fight to Mikey. But, you know, Mikey's not a piece of shit, you know. But the main thing is that, one, Jesse was never a big puncher at no weight. Two, Jesse hasn't fought in 2 years. Now, this dude fought 2 times last year, and he looking better and better fight by fight. He looking better. So I'm like, just the way it looked, Liam knocking him out ain't some wild ass shit. That man ain't fought in 2 years, B. Drew says Tank fought after video of him choking that chick. Yeah, these guys like putting their hands on girls, man. I don't know what the fuck wrong with them, man. Vargas was always a solid dude, not getting stopped. Like, being real with you, when I see that shit, I don't understand it. Like, I've been super mad at my wife or girlfriend at the time or whatever. I'll never put hands on her though. So I don't.
Bro, you cut different. Like you said, having a father and not having the best family, it's not an excuse. I feel you. I feel you, but at the end of the day, there's a prism theory I always tell people. Hey, the ray of light goes through a prism, and the spectrum of colors is how people can react to things. Some people react on the dark side of the spectrum. Some people react in the middle side of the middle part of the spectrum. Now, other people that react on the lighter side of the spectrum. That's just how people are. We can't control how people just act. Like certain people can be raised from.
I ain't trying to control how you act. I'm just saying that.
That was bad wording on my part, but I'm just saying we don't know how people are going to react to things. Rather, it's just like that's just how certain people are. Like it's just what it is. Is it corny? Of course, but it's just what it is.
I'm gonna tweet a video out from 1941, and I think it was the first of them all black and white videos. It's guy video and normal thing. You see boys, literally young kids dressed up nice and smart and classic and everything. But now when you look at it now, I'm gonna put 2 side by side. One acting like dickheads and dressed like gangsters as if like they're gonna shoot people, and next in 1941 looking nice and classic, bro, in suit and shit.
Let me say this, right? See, this is my thing. I'm not let me frame it right. I'm not against the G shit, you know. It's just that it's not for nothing. We trying to get some pussy. We trying to get some money. We trying to have a good time. That's what it's for. That's what it's for.
The real G's is quiet. The real G's is out here understanding that I don't want to even be a G. I want to be a square.
Like
the talk. G shit has changed, Julius.
Let me just say, like I'm gonna say that at least from the school of thought when I was a child and just running around being a dickhead, the school of thought that I had was you don't draw no attention to yourself because then you can't work. If you draw attention to yourself doing dumb shit on the block, you're going to fuck it up for everyone. So don't do that. That's the school of thought that I come from, right? And it's just a child, you know, running around, being a dickhead, but in a good,
in a responsible way.
Yeah,
but understand this
because in 9-6, hold on, in 9-6, what you had was a lot of West Coast gangs. They were coming to New York. I'm sure Alexis remembers. You had a lot of West Coast gangs that were coming to New York, and you had a lot of guys in a hurry to be involved in that. So the way it was when I was young, you had these bum ass gang motherfuckers, and then you had your drug dealers. And it's not saying that the drug dealers wasn't getting in shit, but it was more discreet, and it was different than the gang. Like, bro, y'all literally fighting over napkins.
This is what I was gonna say. Jules, this is what I was gonna say. Jules, this is what I was gonna say. The drug dealers was the niggas that was pumping on the blood out, like they're not gonna want people who making it hot. You messing up their money.
That's really what it was, though. That's literally what it was.
Julius, you reminded me. There's another video I saw on I think Instagram. Imagine, just because one person is a buffet, so one person got served the steak before the other guy in front. Now the mayhem went everywhere. They broke the whole shit up, and people throwing chairs and tables and everything. Bro, this is the society we live in right now. Oh, just because my man got a steak first, he got pissed off. So Everyone started throwing food and mashing shit.
I kind of equate it to that story of Moses, where in the Bible, for those that are Judeo-Christian, they might be familiar with the story where Moses was asking God questions, and it's like, okay, well, realize, Moses, it's some things that are not for you to know. So when I see dumb shit, I'm like, see, that dumb shit is not. I don't need to know.
For me to know that.
I don't need to know why you attracted to this dumb shit. I just know that it's some dumb shit. That's what I know. Man, that shit came over. Motherfuckers want to be. I'm sky high. I'm like, yeah. And you just around the same motherfuckers that you would have been around if this shit was not here. You like, it's corny. Like, it's corny.
Super corny, B.
It's corny.
Like,
man, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit.
That narrow tooth shit they do with their goddamn heads.
Like, man, what's that, a hand hump? Like, let me stop before I get shot. I don't want to get in no trouble.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is certain shit is just like, yo, like, and it's wild to me how to see people literally fall in line with the shit. I'm like, yo, and it equates to what we're talking about in the sense that it's unnecessary for a young athlete. And I'm not even saying he still engages in this behavior. It doesn't look like he does. He hasn't been in any headlines. But if we're just addressing what happened on that day, okay, well, on that day, when that happened, you're talking about a fighter who's, you get 5 or 6 figures at a time to go out there and punch people in the face. But you doing it for free in the street, which cost you everything.
And you could have killed that girl, literally.
Yeah, you never know.
It could have been really bad. But like, hey, do you think Katie Taylor has the power to stop Amanda Serrano? Because I looked at Amanda and Katie on the scales. Katie looks considerably bigger. I understand, Amanda operates at 2'6", but like, I don't know why Amanda took this fight at this weight. Like,
she took
9
the fight
pounds
at
heavy.
this weight. Look, she took the fight at this weight because Katie is the A side. And look, I don't want to say nothing bad about, because I'm trying to be as objective with the shit as possible. But if the question is, does Katie Taylor pack enough punch to put a dent in Amanda? Yes, because I've seen girls put dents in Amanda. And the problem is, people that are not familiar with Amanda, they the ones that's doing the most talking. Like, bro, I've been seeing a lot of Amanda fights where the girl.
I thought Cindy better.
Look, Cindy got a fat fucking ass, man.
Does she have like a buzz cut too?
You know Julius's obsession.
Listen, I love a fat old wet
Me
by
too.
ass.
I can hear
Me too.
I love it too.
You know what I'm saying? But being real is just they put in Amanda in a place where, because she's looking the way she's looking with the people that she's fighting, where Katie is actually fighting people that know they can fight back. They're good fighters. So when she look human, they think, she ain't shit. When like, yo, look, this girl is fighting fucking girls that don't stand.
Jessica McCaskill, bro.
Another thing. It doesn't matter. Amanda Serrano, baby.
Real shit.
7 division champion. Okay.
That sounds great, Leo. That sounds
Anyway.
great, but I think she might get hurt in this one.
Well, I'll say that Katie looks switched on. I'll say that Katie has a look in her eye. She has a look in her eye. She got this look, man. Like, I seen him at the weigh-in, and Amanda turned. And I don't read too much into this. I'm only interpreting what I saw, all right? Because of how I feel about the fight is, I already felt that way about the fight for a long time. But what I saw in that moment that Amanda turned before Katie, and Katie just looking at her like, she gave her that look like, yo, I've been waiting to fuck you up for so long. That's the look.
Like, yo, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. It might be a little graphic, bro, but let's keep it a buck. If Katie and Amanda wasn't like, what?
Their mentalities, man. I mean, Katie Taylor's mentality is she's humble. And Serrano, she's more talking about money and, well, I wouldn't get this much money, or, I want to go to the WWE and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of shows you where their mentalities are at. And I don't think Serrano's mentality is in the best place for this fight.
Well,
I don't.
Look, all I can say is I hope, for the sake of the event, not even just, being right or nothing like that, but for the sake of the scale of the event and what it's intended to represent in the sport, I just hope it's a good fight, because it'd be a shame if it got talked up to this point, and then you go in there and the difference in classes is like gaping, like, oh my God, like you just getting completely just washed. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because at the end of the day, for women's boxing, they need this fight to be a classic. Because
Go ahead.
Because for the second resurgence of women's boxing, Alicia Baumgartner can't do it by herself. Katie, Jessica McCaskill, they've been giving out good fights. Cecilia Brækhus, they've been giving good fights. So at the end of the day, this needs to be a very good fight for them to further their their cause. And let me tell you this: if Katie and Amanda were in women's prison, Katie would be like, what's up? Because that's how she looking.
I mean, what I see is that, to your point, which I agree with, that like, it needs to be good. Aesthetically, it needs to be good. You know what I mean? Because it's been built up, and it's like Katie done put in the legwork to build that reputation to where it's a legitimate reputation. But Amanda, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna get, which is what makes me really, really want to see. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I don't know if she's gonna rise to the occasion. Maybe she will. That happens too. Sometimes a fighter is better than advertised. They just need the chance to show it. So, looking forward to the fight. But my pick is Katie Taylor on points. Officially, it's Katie on points.
And if Amanda really want to, show she's the one, she got to get that lick back for her sister, because Katie beat up on her sister too.
Well, the wild shit is that, look at how many years ago that was. It's like you could see that she don't want the lick back, because she pounced on your sister like 3-4 years ago, and you was like, nah, I ain't worried about. Like, what you mean you not worried about that? What you mean?
But I always thought Cindy was better than Amanda.
Nah, she not. No, in no way, shape, or form.
No way, shape, or form.
I will say that, just being unprofessional, right? Because I'm gonna be. Her sister's a. Ooh.
I feel you.
Hey, I wanted to say, I didn't want to butt earlier. Country, do you know why Serrano lately acting all like about talking about money and about finances and about fame and all this? Is because she's hanging around with Jake Paul. That's why. Jake Paul is a motherfucker. So if you're around those type of motherfuckers, you're gonna become one of those motherfuckers.
Right. No, you got a point. I agree.
And I also think a big part of the reason that she's talking about these outside endeavors is because it could be because she knows that if you lose this thing, it's not a whole lot of people lining up to give you 7-figure purses, and you create like she said it on the Pat McAfee show earlier. I did a video about it where she was like, well, it ain't that many people that's gonna give me 7-figure paydays like Katie Taylor. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Michaela been call her out, and I already know you think Bob gonna give you $1 million. He not gonna do that, and you can't ask for $1 million for every fight, because the value of every fight don't justify that purse. You know what I mean? The value of every fight ain't gonna be the same for every fight. So basically, what you saying is that you ain't gonna fight certain fights unless you get overpaid for the value of the fight. Well, ain't nobody about to do that. Nobody about to do that.
Because who knows Amanda Serrano really?
That's what I'm saying.
I know Cindy though.
It's not even that. I think they know her now, for what it's worth. I think they know her now. The thing is, I feel like her purses now are in a place where you could probably get her $200,000 and $300,000. I think you could get her that just off of general principles right now. You could probably get a 2 and 3. But if you try to put her with a Michaela Mayer, for example, a reasonable number, I would say, for what the show is worth now, a reasonable number would be, we'll give you $400,000 for the fight. We'll give you $400,000. That's reasonable for what the show is worth. For what the show is worth. Because it's all about the value of the fight. It ain't about the morality. It's about the value of the fight.
I probably would have gave, objectively speaking, Amanda probably 200, lowest being 150K for
yeah, I mean, shit,
that's
realistic too, because look, I want them to do well and all of that, but you got to
Me
be
too.
real. You got to be real about where it's at right now and what it take to make it better. And what it take to make it better ain't fucking off money. Like now, you can't just fuck off money now. Like you need it to be sustainable to where we can sell tickets, we can get a buzz, and people want to see a fight. And the thing is that there's the new line of girls that came from the last Olympics and these Olympics, right? And then you have the fighters that didn't get to compete in the Olympics. It's almost like there's a dividing line between them. Those girls from that, they feel like, nah, I ain't just gonna be out here fighting, doing all this shit. Even though, hey, listen, the bread is better than the bread you was getting, but now you don't really want to do it. Look at how long it took to get Amanda in the ring with Katie. Look at how long that took. That shit took like 3 years, and it's like, yo, they.
Julius, but we're not mentioning the thing that, look, if somebody say I make £500 a day, I'm not gonna go down now to take a thing to taking £100 a day. There's the same thing with Jake Paul, and I think forced Eddie Hearn into putting $1 million bonus for the winner. So imagine that. I'm not
Hey,
sure if
look,
that's between them
Julius,
or does the $1 million go to the winner. I don't know. So imagine uh, she's not going to take that. I don't think if Serrano loses, you're not going to see her back in boxing because she's not going to want go down to
oh yeah,
150K,
if you think,
250K.
yeah, like if when you put it that way, like to where it's like, look, she gonna look at the purse or whatever she made for this joint, win, lose, or draw, whatever happens, and she gonna be like, look, unless somebody ready to give me that, I ain't even out here. I ain't even out here. The only time, like the only way I'll get back out here is if it's such an easy ass fight that I do it because that's what it's been. They're like, yo, you fighting these fights with these fighters that everybody know they don't
That you
say.
gonna beat.
Yeah,
She
like
wouldn't mind
everybody
fighting
know.
under Jake Paul. I think under Jake Paul's undercard, she wouldn't mind doing that, getting a good 300, 400K from Jake Paul, be the side piece to Jake Paul, no problem.
Julius, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we say that casual fans, we talk about casual fans all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say casual fans pay for female boxing?
No, we can't say
No,
that. We cannot
We
say that.
can't. We can't.
most don't.
No, but if this fight makes I don't know what numbers, can we assume that those are hardcore boxing fans?
This is. Let me tell you this, Leo. This is what I'm anticipating for this fight. I don't know about the gate. I believe they sold 14,000 out of 20,000 tickets, which is good. That's still good. 14,000 out of 20,000. That's still good. The main thing for me is the viewership, the amount of viewership around the world that I believe the fight is going to get. That is where I think they're going to make a good dent. Like that, you don't have to be there. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to sit down and watch it. That is where I think the numbers might be monumental, and that will be the push that brings in advertising revenue, that brings in sponsorships and things like that, to where real advertisers are looking at this like, yo, we might want to get ourselves a girl. We might want to get involved with an Alicia Baumgartner. You know, like, yeah, let's get involved. You know, use her as a sponsor or a spokesperson, or a Michaela Mayer. And then that's when you really get the ball rolling, when they realize, oh, so you can really get eyes on a fight, even, you know, when it's two joints. Like, you could get eyes on a fight. Well, good. That's the prime environment that we want to advertise in. So that's really what I'm focused on. Not the singular event, not necessarily the gate, but the eyes on the fight from the viewers at home. And I expect there will be a lot of viewers. I expect a lot.
Hey, Jules. Someone in
Hmm.
the comments asked if the zone puts out viewership numbers.
Only when they do astronomical numbers. This, you know the rule. If you got something to brag about, you brag about it. When Canelo
The best.
Alvarez fought, who was the guy that he fought? They put out, it came out that they had gotten 400,000 new subscribers for one of Canelo Alvarez's fights. I can't remember if it was Smith or Saunders, but they floated that number out there because, well, it was a great fucking number. On top
Yeah.
of all the subs you already got, you got us 400,000 more shit. That's good
They were
job.
loving it. Hey,
You know what I mean?
here's a whack question. What's the Rolly Tank undercard gonna be?
Oh, it's gonna be Lara versus Gary Spike O'Sullivan.
I
No
didn't think
Gamboa?
Gary Spike O'Sullivan was still fighting, bro.
Me neither. Honest to God,
Last time I saw him, he got knocked out by David Lemieux at 160.
bro. It's fucking nuts, bro. And this fucking nut, and that's a pay-per-view, bro. $84 for that fucking thing.
We streaming Europe.
I'm not even watching that fucking fight. I'm gonna wake up on Sunday and find out what happened. My old ass.
Imagine Rolly outbox and stop Tank. I'll lie.
Yo, B.
we done rolled about that one.
Yo.
I'll cry tears.
Bro. I'll be the most obnoxious motherfucker ever.
Because you saw how Tank was on $1 million worth of game, and he said, "Hey, I haven't even been asking Floyd for the fights." So at the end of the day, you talking about like Ryan Garcia, you talking about Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, but you're not even asking your promoter to fight these dudes, because at the end of the day, let's look at it like this: Devin Haney signed like what we would say a 360 contract in the music business. A very bad contract to become undisputed, right? Which I think he can beat Kambosos, but let's hope he's not too super weight drained in those two fights. But if Devin Haney can sacrifice that, you mean to tell me you can't pressure Floyd? You can't pressure.
Be real. When you heard him say that, hold on. When you heard him say that, were you surprised?
Absolutely not. But I was disgusted. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
bro,
I'm just saying, like, I never thought that. I've been saying the same shit for 20 fucking years. Tank don't want to fight none of these guys, bro.
Stop it, bro. You haven't been saying that for 20 years.
Been saying it for 20 years. Tank don't want to fight. What the fuck make anybody think Tank wanted to fight Loma? He don't want shit, B.
Tank didn't even want to fight
Julius
Pedraza,
was saying
bro.
this shit. Tank is not gonna fight anyone. Julius has been saying that for so long when Tank was in his dad's bulls.
Real, like, no, real. I've been saying, like, yo, that dude don't want to fight shit. Like, look, they got him because I think now that he's, seen behind the curtain and just that it's all bullshit. I think now he realized that, like, yo, that corny ass sales pitch about Floyd this and Floyd that, like, bro, you can't turn everybody into Floyd. You feel me? That's
right.
one. That success cannot just be duplicated, like I don't know what, like assembly line or something, right? He see that, yo, these guys is full of shit. Like, I seen behind the curtain. I know y'all full of shit, but he fell for it in the beginning. Why? Because a couple of years ago, Floyd was still that guy. He was still that guy when he signed him. Like, fucking Floyd, bro. Floyd signed me. That's some dope shit. Now you see all these great young guys coming out the amateurs. Keyshawn Davis, his brother, Torres. You got young guys like Bruce Carrington. They don't fuck with Floyd. You a doodle promoter. You suck. You know what I mean?
But like, yo, bro, like a lot of people fell for the okie doke. But now if you really look at it, him behind the curtain, he ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna leave Floyd at all.
I don't even know.
Because let's really keep it a buck, bro. Like, I don't think Tank got the drive to really, fight these dudes. He said he wasn't even ready for Pedraza, bro.
The people that have Tank in the fucking top 10 pound for pound list, you're a fucking goofball. You're a fucking cuck. That's what you're, a cuck. How the fuck can you put Tank Davis? He only won one Raw championship, yeah? The rest are all fucking trinkets. Yes, Julius. Cuck, you fucking cucks.
This real shit, yo. It's just a lot of cuckery going on around here. It needs to stop.
yo, Jules be doing it. Yo, Jules, when you be doing that shit, I'll be crying tears, dude. I'll be crying raw tears.
Too much cuckery.
Julius, I need royalty for that shit. You've been using it too much lately.
Don't be a cuck. Yeah, like real shit. Like, look, motherfuckers, look. I can't because I know that there's a tribal element in there, right? I know there is, and out of respect for sport, and I said it the other day, that there's a place for tribalism, so long as it turns up economically in terms of fandom and viewership and gate revenue and pay-per-view sales. Even if it is stupid and tribal and casual, it's still productive. You know what I mean? That if all that dick sucking you see on Twitter, if them dick sucking ass motherfuckers is actually buying the fight, hey, you bought the fight, so you keep sucking dick. That's the fuck you doing, right? Well, you
Hey
bum ass.
yo, hey yo, hey
Wait.
yo.
I'm not done. But you bum ass motherfuckers don't even buy the fight. So what are you doing with your life? What are you
Sucking dick.
doing?
Sucking dick. That's what they literally do, sucking dick.
And fucking
That's why
weird
they're
ass.
cucks.
It's like, yo, if in other words, when you a fan of something, and I have always had that understanding, which is why I, unlike many of my contemporaries and cohorts and associates, in the days of Virgin Megastore, I used to go to the Virgin and buy the albums I want. I gave Jada my money for them 2-3 albums. I gave 50 and all the early shit. I bought the album because I understood then. If you a fan, you gotta support the artist. Otherwise, it ain't gonna be no new material. Cause
Right.
you know what I mean? Like they don't get no money off the bootleg.
Jules, I gotta ask you a question. 9/11, right? Yo, you know the city's going to shit. Did you get Fab album or did you get the Blueprint?
Blueprint.
You got the Blueprint?
With the Blueprint.
And I gotta ask you one more question in terms of like the Virgin Mega Superstore and everything. What was it when Get Rich or Die Trying was out? What was it? How was the city?
What you said again?
When Get Rich or Die Trying came out in 2003, how was the city? Like when that album came out?
Oh, I mean, I could say that like, yo, the city had a spirit when that shit came out. Like it had a spirit. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like
I was a young boy. I was 7. Like so.
It was like let me tell you. Like for example, pre 9/11 New York is a different New York than after 9/11. Everything after 9/11 feels modern, feels surveillance, feels different. You're awake. You just realized, yo, the things that happen in all these other countries can happen to us. That's when we kind of like woke up from that. Whereas before that, New York felt like it was different before that. Like it just felt different. That
Yo,
shit,
people was copping mad bodies and beating it because there was no cameras, bro. Like mad bodies.
That shit happened, and it's kind of like this is what happened when that shit happened. It was kind of like that, like oh shit, like you know what I mean? It woke everybody up to the world that's around, and you know what be going on, and how far motherfuckers is willing to go, because the shit that happened on 9/11 to Americans, to most Americans outside of the military, but to most Americans, well, this is the stuff you see in Chuck Norris movies. You know, guys hijacking planes to do what? Like this is movie shit. That's when motherfuckers like, nah, motherfuckers is wilding out here, B. Like, you need to understand that. Motherfuckers,
you were still in college. Yo, you were still in high school or in college?
No, I was in college, man. I literally the day the planes, I was literally, all right, I had a fever, but I wanted to go to school. I didn't want to miss school. I was in college. Woke up as I got out.
You was dormant or you was commuting?
No, I wasn't dormant. Took the, what was it? It was either the 1 or the 2 train, whichever one it was, at Chambers Street. Got out. I look up. The sky is literally black. Like, you know, if you're on Chambers Street, the buildings are very tall, so you don't see a lot of the sky depending on where you're standing.
That's a fact, because downtown, yeah, it's mad, crazy buildings.
I looked up and I just see the sky is black. I walk down the block, past the bookstore and the Mickey D's, and I'm looking up. I see all the people huddled up. They looking up. And I'm looking like, oh, shit. And I'm thinking, you know, I didn't know what was going on in that moment. It wasn't until maybe 2-3 hours later that I realized what happened, because when I looked up, I'm thinking like, what, did a gas main leak or something? It's the eeriest thing when that shit happened. Because I've told this story before. I need glasses. I've always needed glasses. The sky was very blue, you know, outside of the smoke billowing. The sky was very blue that day. So I'm looking up and I'm seeing what look like pieces of paper falling off the building while it's burning. The bitches keep screaming. Ah! I'm like, oh shit, those are people. Those are people. Bang. Then everything get quiet, yo. Everything got mad quiet, and you literally heard the metal bend. Like, I remember it clear as day. Right before it pancake. And when it I was like, oh, time to get the fuck out of Dodge. So I walking up shit. And then I get up shit, turn around, look back. Oh shit, that's all right. I don't know what the fuck going on today. I walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. I don't know what's going on. And then until I walk, and then the people got the TVs outside. People all looking at the TVs like, yo, what is going on today? Yo, that wasn't no accident. I was watching the shit. That's what the news was saying. It was a no accident. That was an attack. We have been attacked. And when I heard that, we've been attacked by who? What the fuck going on today, B? All the trains are decommissioned. The traffic is terrible. I make it from Chambers to Herald Square outside the Macy's.
You know how brolic that walk is, my nigga, from Chambers
yes, I do,
downtown over to Herald.
I ain't have a choice, my guy. I ain't have a choice. I had
like how many blocks is that? It's not like 70 blocks or some shit like that, bro.
It's a lot. It was a lot, lucky for me, this is the thing, right? My Diddy Bop is just unparalleled. As long as I got my music, which I did, man, I could fucking walk from here to China. As long as I got some shit to listen, I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck going on today. Turn my shit on. I'm keeping moving, man, until I see where I could get uptown. I'm like, I realized that 34th, I can't make it all the way uptown, man. I just killed like an hour, however long it took me. It felt like 2-3 hours, maybe. Hit my sister.
Probably, bro. Like, because I usually take the E train into the city sometimes because I live in Long Island, like specifically Freeport. Like, so I usually take the E train in, right? So like, they said the E train goes right under the fucking World Trades. I was like, oh shit, it does. So like, sometimes I get off at Chambers, when I was, when my friend was out here, Baruch and shit. But like, I know how far Chambers is, like, because there's certain parts of the city after the numbers, it just becomes like regular blocks, like Lafayette and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But for you to do that all the way down from like,
34th
Chambers to 34th,
I get like all the cell phones because the towers was down, right? No cell phones worked. I had this is back when T-Mobile used to be called VoiceStream, and Jamie Lee Curtis was the spokesperson, and T-Mobile was literally called VoiceStream.
I remember that, yeah.
My little VoiceStream phone, it doesn't work. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit a landline. I hit the landline to see if it worked. The phone booth, the phone. I hit the shit. I button cool. Put the cord in. Yo, I'm stuck out here. She's like, my sister's like, nah, it's cool. Homeboy from the block is shuttling people from downtown to uptown. Just tell us where you are. I'm like, I'm Herald Square, Macy, da. Eventually, they came, got uptown. Everything was right as rain. But it was just the day was eerie. The whole day was just.
They say the day was actually a perfect day until that happened, bro.
No, yeah, it was beautiful outside that day. It was beautiful. It was warm, unseasonably warm. But it was just, the day was, if you was around and you could understand and process things, it was like, yo, it really felt eerie, like something evil or just some eerie shit, yo. That's how it felt. Like,
I remember something about that day. Obviously, I wasn't there. I was in Chile. And at that time, I was in middle school. And I got the news that the towers fell off. There was an attack. But I didn't understand at that time what that means. But I think the day after, they explained to me what happened. Someone hijacked 2 planes and they attacked the Twin Towers. And I could understand. I was shocked. I've seen him shocked to this day. I was asking for, okay, but they hijacked the plane, but how the guys got out of the plane? Do they jump? And I was, no. They crashed into the building. And I was, nah.
My God, listen, Leo. When I heard the shit, and I don't get into the nuttiness shit, because I got old enough to realize that, like, you know what? If they put something out there, just know there's more to the story, because that's the way everything is. There's always more to the story. Even if the piece they telling you is true, there's more to it. You telling me that with a plane full of passengers, they got luggage and books and sweaters you could wrap around your arm and all this shit, and you got trays and different shit you could beat a motherfucker with? You telling me
That's
Yeah.
a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, Jules, you're not the only one. But hear me out. My day when that happens, because I'm probably the youngest on the panel. I'm a baby. I'm about to turn 26 this year. Like, right? So like,
Yep.
I was in Brookside. Yeah, I was in Brookside Elementary School with my older brother and me. Right? My mom tells me this succinctly. She sees it, she starts crying, and my mom's the first person to get her kids from Brookside, right? And you know what they tell my mom? They say, hey, Mrs. Matthews, you need to stay calm, yada yada yada, because we don't know what happened. My mom, you know what my mom says? I need to see Hakeem, my older brother, and Chris, me. I need to get my children now. And she screamed it, and she got me and my older brother out of there. And me at that time, I'm young and dumb. I don't even know what's going on. Yay, I don't gotta go to school. But then I realized the brevity when I got older. I said, oh my God, like, just imagine the planes coming in and you just seeing that, just the level of evil, the level of terror, bro, is ridiculous.
Let me
And the sad
address
and the sad
this.
thing about that, yo, it was a day before my brother. It was the day before. The day after was my dad's birthday.
Let me address this. It's not the conspiracy, right? It's that that you gotta stab a motherfucker a couple times before he die. Let's get that right out the way. You do. It ain't like in a movie where you stab the motherfucker once. That's not. That's not. Being real with you, I'm just saying that. Like, right, all right. So you got a plane full of people, and there's some hijackers that's jacking high. It's luggage all up and down this motherfucker, man. It's all type of shit that you could put in front of you to use it. Like because all you gonna try for the poke, and as soon as you do, that's your ass. Because then everybody could jump on you. The motherfuckers that's behind you, like that's like how you did all this. No, I don't believe. I don't know.
Yeah, I never believed it, bro. I never believed it. Like, how you gonna let these How you let these nondescript niggas take over this plane like this? We from New York, B. How you let these nondescript?
It's a whole crowded plane, and it's what, one guy or two guys? You know,
there went two guys per plane, I think. But I think that the people in the plane, this is my assumption. The people in the plane, I think, didn't know the plane. They didn't know what was going to happen. They thought that they're going to kidnap the plane. They're going to ask for some ransom or something. One of the planes, I remember this. One of the planes, the third plane that didn't crash into any building, got intel. Some of the passengers got intel about they're going to crash the plane into some building. I think it was into the White House of the Capitol. Some of those buildings, and
the
then
Pentagon.
I think the Pentagon was attacked, but I don't believe that shit. I don't think it was a plane. That's what I mean. But one of the
people
planes
said it was a missile.
Yeah, because
but
see, this look. All I'm saying. Oh, look. Let me clarify, right? Because I'm not one for just giving in the wild theories. I can only look at a situation and evaluate based on life experiences whether or not this is something that seems believable to me. And when I think about you telling me two guys with knives, right? Once you go for that first swipe, that's your ass. That first, you might get somebody, but the motherfucker here, and the motherfucker, they gonna be on like, cause it's not a movie. You stab a motherfucker,
Julius.
he ain't gonna die off unless you get him in a jugular. Then maybe.
Yo, Julius, let me tell you this. Yo, Virtuoso, let me just say this. I'm gonna let you rock. Yo, 2 years prior, Southwest Airlines, like they try to, hijack that plane, and I think it was in '98. They killed that dude. They beat that dude to death. Like it wasn't playing. They're like.
One of the things that like boggles my mind, right, is that through all the wreckage, all the flames, all the debris, right, somehow the people that were cleaning up the mess, right, they found one of the hijackers' ID, right, or passport, right. It survived all of that shit. Like, where the fuck did they find that? In front of a Century 21 across the street?
That wasn't possible.
Look,
That's
look,
not
look, look,
possible.
look.
That is not possible.
Let me just say, like I said, I'm not gonna, I don't jump to conclusions based on the the wild imaginations of other
Yeah.
people.
You're
I'm
being a
just
pain in
thinking
the butt
about
right now.
on the plane. On the
Mm-hmm.
plane is two guys. How many passengers, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
telling me everybody just cooled out like fuck it, fuck it.
You know,
Y'all got
when
luggage overhead. Y'all got sweaters. Y'all got trays. The fucking pilot knows what they trying to do.
yeah, like I wasn't one of those that was trying to look into the nook and cranny of the conspiracy. I was privy to it like in 2003. That's when I was still in high school, right? But I kind of look at it like this. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter how it happened. It was most. It was more about the end goal because as as a 35-year-old, I see Americans like and their goal to like spread freedom, but that it's mostly a business because war is a racket. So if they needed a provocation, they got it, and it was the perfect one to expand their powers and do all this shit.
Right. Well,
That's the
look
way I
at
look
like
at it.
with the
Let me just
Patriot
say.
Act because
Let me
they
just
Yes.
used that
base
9/11
like
to
like
pass the Patriot Act.
I try
Hmm.
not. This is why I try not to. Even though I could sit here and come up with practical reasons all day, I try not to delineate the line of reality and
Hmm.
fantasy by entertaining that. However, what I will say, all I can say, is, do I believe the cover story? Simply put, no.
I don't either.
You know.
That's all
Not
I
at
can
all.
tell
But
you.
like at the end of the day, you remember when Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men said, "You can't handle the truth." What you said about the delineation between reality and fantasy, I think if we really understood what nefarious things that truly happened on that day,
Hmm.
I think I don't think people can handle that.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
look,
mean.
like I said, like if you once again to not delineate the line of reality and just focus on because this the main shit, right? Motherfucker go crazy worrying about the 300 million people in America. Fuck them, right? I'm worried about me. What I know is I don't believe you. That's all I need to know. I don't believe what you're saying. I don't, and I don't care. Fuck them. I don't believe what you're saying. You gave people syphilis just to see what would happen. You did that. That's a matter of public record. You did that.
That's some fucked up shit, ain't it?
So
You
if you
know.
can
Beyond
do that,
fucked up.
now, common sense. If you can do that, I'm sure you could do worse.
When I jumped on, it felt coincidental that you guys were talking about 9/11 because this is a funny thing. I was randomly searching like on YouTube like these you ever seen those like network identifications like whenever you see an NFL game they'll show you like, oh, this is a presentation of the NFL and Fox
Yeah,
Sports.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Or
So I was
NBA,
I
all
yeah, so
rights
I
reserved
looked.
type shit.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw the network ID for like Fox Sports like after 9/11, and it was like the American flag, and then you see the fucking like the fighter just leaving the like ship, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, this atrocity that happened, right? Most of the victims were firefighters and police officers and citizens, and
Yep.
yet you don't see them on the like on the prepackaged highlight shit. It's all about the military. That's what I mean. Like I feel like the end game was let's expand the
That's a
powers.
fact. Like
Yeah,
now that you bring that up,
because when I saw that,
Virtuoso,
I'm like, yo, looking back, I'm like, yo, back then I was like, American, hell yeah, fuck yeah. But like looking back, it was like, yo, the Empire is striking back. Hey, yo, tell him, man, we coming, yo.
Well, let me put it to you another way, right? I'm gonna just put it to you another way before I go to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Simple. They are thinking. Uh, you know the rule about technology that's made available to civilians, right? And how that technology is basically, most technology is military application first, and the military has it for anybody, and whatever you have is probably maybe 10, maybe 20 years old, because the military gets the good stuff first. So think about the kind of shit they got now. right? That we have access to, right? That they, like, yo, we got access to some shit that if you know what you're doing, you can get a lot of information. Imagine what they got, right? Now apply that logic to planning. You know what I mean? Apply it to planning, like whatever they're doing, right? This is for you guys to go to sleep easy, right? Whatever they're planning, you can't do fucking nothing about it. So what you need to do is go to bed, wake up, wear some nice shit, squeeze some ass, suck some titties, get some pussy, eat some food, and fuck it. Fuck
Just
it.
bust a nut and forget about everything.
Forget about it. Like, what the fuck? Like, forget about it. That's it. Like,
Let me tell you this axiom before I get off, bro.
I was in New York the year before, man, and you know, I was lucky not to be there when it happened. You know, the following
Let me
year.
tell you this axiom, guys.
Yeah.
People meet Satan every day, B. You'll be all right. You tough, right?
Look, it's I think it's from Lao Tzu. I think it's Lao Tzu. I'm not sure, but it's one of the only proverbs that isn't in the Bible, that I should say, that stuck with me. And it's, if you live in the past, you live in regret. If you live in the future, you live in worry. But if you're in the present, fuck it, man. All I know is go out there and just bust a nut, man. Make it happen. What?
Yeah,
so now back to boxing. We got Shakur Stevenson beating.
No, I'm about to go to
Oscar
sleep, man. Fuck boxing. I'm about to go to sleep. Y'all motherfuckers be easy.